Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Oh,
Were you speaking to me?
yes. Welcome
Good
to episode 24 of Theory of Anything podcast.
Not another one.
Wow.
When are they going to give it up?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just reading one of the comments from the last section. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we
You're
are
so
here.
harsh on yourself.
Yes. We are here again, very early in the morning, to have a little chit chat about anything that's on our minds, which is always nice. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Always good to hear your voices. We've been up a little while now, but hopefully the coffee's kicked in and we're ready to go.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Should have some more coffee.
Yeah, agreed for sure.
We don't really have anything to pick up, really, from last week. I've got a couple of things. We got some nice feedback, which is always encouraging.
Yeah.
But I think that was private, so we may not share this. But yeah, have you got anything to say from previous episodes?
Well, this week I've just sat watching a bit of TV and a pop-up came on my phone, one of these promotional texts saying, don't forget you can add Disney Plus to your viewing habits for free for 6 months.
Wow.
So I've used my O2 loyalty bonus from my O2 phone account to enable me to now access Disney Plus for 6 months for free. So within about 3 days, I'd finished all of the Mandalorian series. Which I think is that 6 episodes, 6 or 8? I should have checked.
Yeah,
I watched through them and enjoyed them actually. Yeah,
they are really good.
yeah, very very impressed. Yeah, there are a couple of bits that I thought maybe not, but then that's the same with all these Star Wars things. But on the whole, by the end of it, I had a happy conclusion. I know there's still more to be made, I think, isn't there? That was season 1 of Mandalorian. I'm sure
no
there's
doubt.
more seasons to come. They certainly leave it open to more.
Well, Disney aren't the sort to let anything die that's popular, are they? So
No.
yeah.
And it was well accepted, wasn't it? So.
Yeah. But what I wanted to do as well was watch a couple of things before we recorded this podcast that also I hadn't seen, and they were available to me for free, obviously on Disney Plus. The Solo film, which I hadn't seen before.
Yeah. And
also Lion King, which my wife and I watched the other night. So
Is this the in inverted commas a live action remake version?
yes, it is.
Right.
That we have spoke about before, haven't we? Do you want me to talk about Lion King now quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we did mention it before, didn't we? About Disney remakes way back. And I don't think Lion King was very well thought of between you guys.
No, but in all fairness, I've not seen it, so you know.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, episode 1, Disney remakes, was the first segment that Ford talked about, and I'm sure the Lion King remake was talked about in amongst it all. But we enjoyed it, I must say, but it did get a bit of a pan in because of the photorealism was a bit unnerving. But I was just impressed by the visuals of Lion King.
Wow.
The story is identical to the animated version, virtually word for word, you know.
Wow.
But to see it in photorealistic was a feat to behold, really. Beautiful on a 4K screen. Solo, quickly mention Solo. I enjoyed it more than I think other people enjoyed it as well. What's your thoughts on Solo?
I haven't seen it yet.
Really?
Wow.
I don't have much desire to see it, by what I've heard of it. It's like, apparently this is what I hear, it's like it's not actually really his character.
Yeah.
Because if you actually pay attention to Han Solo from episode 4, A New Hope, then he's very much different from how he ends up to be when he was older. Very much, why should I do this? What do I gain from it? I'm just a rogue or a scavenger or whatever he is. Whereas I think in the Solo movie, he's a bit more doing things for the common good, which didn't really seem to his character.
But that's possible because he could have had his do-gooder thing knocked out of him, couldn't he?
He could have, but obviously I haven't seen the film, so I don't know if they explain
His
that.
good intentions. What I liked quickly, I'll tell you quickly what I liked about it, was that you see how he gets his name. That's the first surprise.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a surname to start with. A second,
Yeah.
The word solo is given to
Because
him
he's got no people. Yeah.
because he's on his own. Yeah. Also, you see him meet Chewie, and you also see him meet the Millennium Falcon, which is also very, very nice to watch. But what I don't like, didn't connect with it very well, was there was no threat, because all the times he dices with death, you know he's going to survive.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, that's the case with Origin movies, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But with the other Rogue One film, because nobody we know makes it to the prequel, to the actual originals, Rogue One has more threat to it because you don't know, you only just got to know these characters, and you might lose them as well. So that's something. What's your thoughts on Solo, Ford?
Yeah, not good. I think I agree with Devon. In that film, he goes through this arc of I don't care, and in the end, he ends up sacrificing a lot of money and whatever for the good of these people or whatever. And then we're back at episode 4 where he doesn't care again. It's like we just had this in Solo, and now we're doing it again in his character arc resets. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The film itself was fine. It just doesn't feel like Star Wars, the universe. It feels
really
weird, off. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
But it's cool. It's fine. Speaking of Disney Star Wars, I like apparently the last season of the Clone Wars. You know, the cartoon version.
Yeah.
Apparently that was really good. Like,
yeah, I heard it was
really,
really good.
Yeah.
So you recommend me watch that then?
I don't know if you can just jump into the last season. Maybe you can.
Well, on Disney Plus, I can watch all of it, couldn't I?
Oh yeah. That's quite a task.
There's a lot to watch. I don't know if it's
a long
really got
haul,
a cup of tea.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really good at explaining lore and in-depth details about like how the Jedi work and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not easy watching, I don't think.
Apparently entertainment-wise, it's a bit hit and miss, but yeah.
Okay.
It's just good stuff.
Okay. There's a lot more to say, but this isn't a segment. This is just a thing, isn't it? And the only other quick thing to mention is, sadly, we had some. Obviously, everybody will probably have heard, but maybe not everybody be familiar with the name Peter Green, who was one of the original co-founders of one of our favourite bands, Fleetwood Mac. Sadly passed away a couple of days before our recording this. I have enjoyed much of the original Peter Green Fleetwood Mac. It's very 60s, 70s, well, actually 70s when it was made. Very kind of different to the modern Fleetwood Mac. But if you like some of that music, I can recommend you go back and revisit some of his Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac material. It's well worth a listen.
Definitely.
And there's a sad loss. I know he's not been making music for a long while, but to think that the creator of that is no longer with us.
How old was he?
Yeah.
It wasn't like
74. 74. I don't know what the cause of death was, but
this is a weird thing because I was under the impression that he'd already died.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, his
drug overdose.
His life was full. Yeah, exactly. When I heard the news, I thought, oh, I didn't know he was still alive. Yeah. His life was on the edge for most of it. I must admit, from what you read and what you hear about, he certainly left the band because it was killing him. Only 2 years after forming it.
Well, for someone who wasn't in the band very long, he definitely left his fingerprint on it, didn't he?
Yes, but there's a distinct difference in the sound that he brought to Fleetwood Mac. And some of the songs, if you look back at that material, is iconic, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's kind of less blues and more rock, isn't it? I think.
Do you think it's more? I don't know. I thought it was the other way around.
Really?
Yeah.
The Lindsey Buckingham's Fleetwood Mac is very blues. I think it's very, very slow and harsh topics that they talk about.
People have said that Lindsey Buckingham's Fleetwood Mac goes more pop than, more mainstream.
I guess some songs, maybe some of the popular songs.
Yeah.
But I always found like Peter Green stuff either very like relaxing or rock, like really cool guitar riffs and that kind of thing.
I'm just going to reel off a few few of the titles from Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. I know we've talked about this longer than we wanted to. Oh Well is
Oh Well Part 1 and 2. Man of the World.
Man of the World.
Black Magic Woman. Albatross.
Yeah, Albatross. Need You So Bad. There's some good material there. Okay. Oh, actually, they must be mid-60s because these were material from 1968.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to say anyway.
Excellent.
Fords. Segment. Subject.
So imagine with me, if you will, that you've been thrown in prison and have managed to break out with the aid of some creepy hunchback man. And you find yourself standing in front of a big old stand dune with a lion face saying he's got a big lamp for you. Now, in the end, you manage to gain the ability to get whatever you want. I hope you know by now I'm referencing Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay, yeah.
Have you guys seen that film recently?
Not too long ago.
No, oh gosh, it's been a long while for me. Yeah.
A long while. It's a classic.
But maybe now I've got Disney Plus, I could watch it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd say it's one of the best of the golden age of Disney.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I wondered, what would you guys use your 3 wishes for? Because Aladdin, he uses it to escape, kind of, first. He kind of cheats the genie out of a wish. But then he wishes to be a prince, which the genie absolutely fails at giving him because he doesn't have a kingdom or anything. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I'm assuming the same laws apply, like no wishing for more wishes and that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Well, if not, then
because that would
more wishes, easy peasy.
that would be the obvious one, wouldn't it? Yeah. Can I have 3 wishes every day, please? Or something like that. Yeah. Well, is there a law about not wishing for world peace?
I don't know. Probably not. I don't know how you do that.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's pretty good because I think Aladdin thinks too small picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to think outside the box.
What are Aladdin's wishes?
Yeah. So he first wishes to be a prince, and then genie deducts him one of his wishes because he gets he's drowning or something, and Aladdin can't make the wish to save his life or whatever.
Yeah, so genie just assumes that he makes the wish and saves his life.
And then his last one is to set the genie free, because slavery is bad, and that's a lesson we learned from Aladdin, apparently. Which is great, I think. You could wish for something like every planet in the solar system becomes habitable to humans or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Big picture. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all fine and dandy wishing for like a ton of money or whatever, but even rich people have problems, don't they?
Yeah.
Like
True.
not being able to find a bag big enough for all their cash,
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Or something like world hunger. I've gone for peace. What about hunger and peace? Can you combine 2 like that?
I don't think so.
If the world was fully fed, sheltered, and at peace, then it'd be like heaven on earth, wouldn't it?
Wow. The thing is, humans are really good at messing things up, aren't they? Do you think they'd stand for that kind of nonsense?
But if you wished it, they can't change it, can they?
Oh.
And my brain is working overtime thinking about my suggestion, because the world peace thing is an obvious one, isn't it? The often used. But does that mean you can't have an argument? Or we just talk about countries not fighting each other? If you wished for there to be world peace, that means that there'd be no upsets in any conversation, no disagreement.
So everyone will become a hippie.
You'd be allowed to, you'd be allowed to disagree, but you wouldn't be able to raise your voice.
Wow.
It'd make debating a bit boring, wouldn't it?
It's like, you do you, man. It's just fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever, man. Peace, man. Yeah. But yeah, when we say that phrase, which is the Miss Worlds and things like that, they'd be interviewed and say, and what would you like to do in your reign as Miss World? Oh, I'd like to work for world peace, or something like that.
Yeah, it's an easy clap.
Huge aspiration, but yeah. Anyway, I may be going too long on this thread of thought.
If you do think about it, like, what about different conflicts that haven't been resolved properly and things like that? It's like, okay, this person now is unjustly losing their land because you've wished for world peace, so they cannot fight to get back, or anything like that.
Oh, it harkens back to your justice segment.
Yeah. So.
Now, I remember listening to a science podcast some years ago that talked about the empathy gene. Have you heard of that? There is a gene in our bodies that some people have more of and some people have less of. And the great, awful dictator people, the people in the world who are renowned for being cruel and vicious and uncaring, have no or little empathy gene.
Wow.
So if you could manipulate the human genome so that everybody has an abundance of the empathy gene, then there would be just naturally peace would break out everywhere, because empathy is seeing things from another person's perspective, aren't they?
Yeah.
You
wouldn't kill someone if you had high empathy, would you?
Exactly, yeah, because you think, oh, what about their family or something else, or if anybody was suffering, you'd want to help them, wouldn't you? And if we all had that level of empathy, then on a national, international, and local, every level, whether it's in your own household or whether it's governments, everybody would be more thoughtful towards each other.
Wow.
But
a wish like that would violate the Geneva Convention, though, so they'd come down on you like a ton of bricks.
Would they? Okay.
I think so.
They'd stop you. But it sounds a little bit like Devon often refers to.
Yeah, it's utopia. If it's good,
utopia.
Then yeah, it's utopia.
Everything's, all the problems are solved.
Yeah.
Is that good for the human race? Anyway, I don't know if you've meant this conversation to go this route.
Hey, it's cool, man. We're just chatting.
Yeah. What would your 3 wishes be then?
Devon, you got anything? Well, I asked the question.
Okay. You got to use like at least one for not selfish reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So like the no world hunger or world peace.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to use the other 2. For just yourself. Say your wishes.
Oh, really? You'd use it in that order, not 1 for yourself and 2 for everybody else.
There's too many things to wish for.
Yeah, okay.
You got something like other planets being inhabitable, which I would enjoy a lot, because I always wanted to I don't know. It's a really big opportunity, or it's really cool to be able to think, okay, I'm going to a different planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you remember, they were getting people to apply to go to Mars a few years ago now. Even just the thought of that is really, really cool to me. I always wanted to go to a different planet. So I guess that's somewhat selfish, but not, because then you're helping the future of the human race. But then it'll probably just be to never be needing. Because if you say, I want unlimited money, then that brings obviously a lot of different issues as well. And it could be, you need something else that isn't money. Say you had some difficulties in your family or whatever it is, in your health, or to say I wish to never be needing, or for me and my family never to be needing again. That kind of covers everything, I think.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that money can't solve everything?
It does help. Most things.
It can solve an awful lot, can't it? Yeah. I was just thinking that if you had Jeff Bezos' size bank account and an empathetic gene high empathetic gene quotient, you could do an awful lot of good, couldn't you, in the world?
And the ability to teleport.
Yeah.
Can you wish for that? Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
My problem with teleportation is if you teleport. Do you teleport inside something sometimes? You got to be very careful.
I mean, there's different law in different teleportation, isn't there? So some sci-fi say,
we're going down this conversation. Carry on.
Tell me more.
Some sci-fis they're I don't dare to teleport because I might go inside a wall.
Yeah.
But then other sci-fis are I can't physically teleport there because I haven't seen it, or I can't physically teleport there because I don't know if there's there is a wall there, so I can't teleport there.
The thing is, these genies are so messed up that they're just going to twist anything you wish for to harm you.
Yeah.
It's always the way.
Yeah, They're not really on your side, are they? They're just
No,
faking it. Yeah.
You don't get that
I
impression,
think
do you?
they're bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. They give you the most incredible gift, but they don't want to. Yeah.
Maybe Aladdin did have the right idea to tease him in because he says at the beginning, "I'll set you free" at the end of this.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, that's my segment.
Yeah.
Enough of that.
Thank you.
It's just nice to dream, isn't it?
Yeah, nice dream. Somebody asked me the other day, what would you do if you won £1 million? You know, and I know
Yeah.
that's not what we're talking about, but there's a lot you could do with that, isn't there?
Mm.
Yeah. How much would you give away? How much would you keep? How much would you self-indulge?
How much would you use to become the American president?
Yeah, I think you need more than £1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Thank you very much, Ford. Well done.
Paps. Segment. Subject.
I heard a phrase used the other day on another podcast that they were talking about. The conversation was going along the lines of somebody had got one of those old twin tape-to-tape cassette players, and they really liked it. It reminded that there was a lot of nostalgia connected to this twin cassette player machine, but it didn't work anymore. So this particular lady went online to try and see if they could get the parts to fix this cassette player. Yeah, for doing tape-to-tape recordings.
Cool.
Why you'd want to do that anymore, I don't know. But that was just that was the goal. And when she went online, she found the exact same model of her cassette player that was also not working on eBay, or other auction sites are available, but nobody uses them. But when she got on there, she found this exact same model with a similar technical failure for £300 for sale.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. Wow.
So this piece of techno garbage really was going to be thrown away if she couldn't fix it. Suddenly became an awful lot more important to her. And then the conversation went on from that to discuss what other technology do I have that I can't use, but I just can't bring myself to throw away anymore. So I've given our little conversation a heading, a title today, of Gadget Graveyard. What bits of gadgetry do you have you still got, or can you imagine having in the future? There's a few I wanted to mention that I will not want to get rid of, even when their usefulness is no longer apparent, and why you feel so connected to these pieces of usually electronics. Let's try and narrow it down to electronics, shall we? Yeah. Or gadgets of most. We all know what a gadget is, don't we? Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who would like to go first?
I've had the old what was it, the Palm PDA thing? Yeah. That that's been living in my loft for years and years.
Yeah.
And years. It's no longer useful because a phone does all that and more.
Yeah. I can't get rid of mine. I've got several PDAs. But, I mean, that acronym doesn't get used anymore, does it? A PDA. Yeah, we don't have PDAs anymore. The smartphone polished it, didn't it? Yeah.
Oh, for those who are uninitiated in the PDA lifestyle, it's just a go on.
Yeah, a department. Yeah,
department. Yeah,
PDA
it's
department.
Personal something.
Digital.
Personal digital
assistant.
Right, cool, thank you. I was hoping you'd chime in, but it didn't happen. You just left me out to dry. It's fine.
I felt like I'd interrupted you one too many times already, so I didn't know you wanted me to say.
The one time I count on you to interrupt me, you don't.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, it's just the ability to look in a diary and make notes and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you used to be able to put games on it as well.
It was really basically a fancy address book, fancy address book and calendar, wasn't it? Notebook. Yeah. And they often had a stylus, a touch screen with a stylus. But yeah,
I think that must have been like my first games console, as it were.
Yeah.
It was good fun. Yeah, you could get really basic games on it.
Yeah, we had. I think one of the ones which we used beginning was an M10. I think it was called. M10, but I can't remember the brand.
Palm, wasn't it?
Palm M10, yeah.
Palm M500. Oh no, is that it?
M105 handheld.
M500 looks very familiar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 105 as well. Yeah. So that's one. That's well done. That's a good gadget that I couldn't bring myself to throw away. Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of them. I don't really get attached that much,
Don't
but
you?
I hate to throw away things like a mouse that I've used a lot,
Okay.
because if my mouse isn't working 100%, I have to get a new one. Just 'cause I hate having a mouse that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I don't really throw them away. I've just got like a bag of mouses, which is the term.
Wow, nice.
Mouses. Yeah, I don't know why I still got them. Like they kind of half work, but half don't.
Right.
So I've just got mouses that don't work, and also mobile phones as well.
Yes, that's the other one that's big on my list. Mobile phones. Yeah.
My Motorola G3, I absolutely loved. I loved it. I couldn't get rid of it. I think I gave that to Ford.
What?
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, the G3, the one with the blue back and the orange camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I really like that phone, but it's still things that it's like I've still got rid of that phone, but I didn't throw it in the bin, of course, or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
It becomes no longer usable, but it has a sentimental value. Is really what kind of qualifies these things, to be honest. Yeah.
I think my podcasting microphone is one of them.
Oh right, you don't use it anymore.
It's pretty much useless.
Oh.
No. Did you ever listen? Did you?
I'm just looking it up now.
Yeah.
Yes, we've mentioned a few. Obviously phones, including a flip phone, which is I've got in a box somewhere in the loft.
Nice.
I've mentioned already a tape-to-tape recorders, cassette tape recorders. Now I know you still have a affinity or a passion for cassette music, don't you?
Yeah, sure. I've got a Walkman. It's great.
Yeah, you still like to use yours, don't you? Yeah.
That's not useless.
Yeah, but the tape-to-tape recording. Why would anybody do tape-to-tape recording anymore? You used to make your own mixtapes and things like that, you know. Well, there's no point anymore, is there?
Me and Devon used to do our own radio shows.
We did.
Yeah, there you go. You
but it
see.
wasn't on radio.
No, we just recorded it on the tape. It's great.
You were getting yourself ready to be a podcaster, weren't you? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good practice. Another thing I've got on my short list was two more things I haven't mentioned. Is just memory sticks. Do we use memory sticks anymore? We don't have need of them anymore. We've now cloud computing and cloud storage. The memory stick has become obsolete, hasn't it?
I wish I had a memory stick. That would be very useful. All the ones I've ever had are corrupted. I don't know what's gone wrong.
Well, you see, but if it's no longer usable, but did you throw them away, or have you still got them somewhere?
I've still got them. I don't know why. They literally do not work.
There you
I've got a box of them.
Can you try to reformat them?
Oh yeah, no, it don't work. No.
But the point is, do we still need memory sticks? Because most data that we want to keep handy is now cloud storage, isn't it?
There's been many times where I've wished I had a memory stick.
Really?
I try and put something onto my something off my phone.
Yeah.
But I plug my computer into my phone and it's just not coming up.
Right.
Or like I can't find the actual folder of which it would be in from my phone. It's all just really weird.
Interesting.
And things like that. So I want to move things from one computer to the other, but the file's too big to email or to Dropbox with free Dropbox.
Yeah. True.
All the different softwares aren't compatible or whatever. They make it really difficult for you to do the simplest things sometimes.
Yeah.
Because their special brand of whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah. True.
No, I think maybe in the future, I think for sure, cloud is definitely taking over.
Yeah. It just feels nowadays, I don't know if you can still buy memory sticks and stuff like that, but you don't see them talked about. Everybody carried one with them everywhere they went in the old days, but these days, work-related stuff, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, you carry your files around with you on a little pen drive, you know.
So you don't just whip it out and say, "Check out my memory stick." Yeah, you like that?
Mine's got a silver reflective mirror effect. Yeah. The only other thing I was going to mention, GPS systems that stick to windscreens. I think now I use mine every day still, but I noticed that it's harder and harder to update the maps on it. It's becoming more and more obsolete. And eventually I will be, like most people, and I think you, Ford, especially use your phone for your GPS, don't you?
Google Maps is just so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
And it's always up to date. Whereas, suction attached windscreen GPSs are they had their day, But even when they have had their day, I will miss mine, and I probably won't be able to throw it in the garbage. I'll probably need to keep it in my gadget graveyard somewhere in a box
Also,
in the loft.
If you were to try and throw it in the garbage, you'd have to move to America.
Yeah, because we don't do garbage. We don't do garbage here, do we? Yeah.
No, we don't.
Do we do trash? Put it in the
Trash.
It's a long way to the bin, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it really. That might be a segment we revisit in the future as things come to us and remember when we do a pop back chat sometime. But yeah, Gadget Graveyard. Hopefully you have an affinity and an affection for some of the things that we have in the past found so useful electronically. Yeah.
Comment below.
Yeah, I've still got a headset that I can no longer use because they don't sell the receiver for. I lost the receiver when moving.
Oh.
So it's impossible for me to use the headset, but I've still got it in a bag.
Yeah. I've got a bag of faulty headphones, wired headphones somewhere, in-ear headphone devices that,
Yeah.
And over time they've gone faulty, a loose wire, but I can't bring myself to throw them away.
Yeah, I got different little in-ear headphones that only work half. Only one side works. But even though I've got a perfectly good new in-ears, I still don't throw the other ones away.
Yeah, we're mad, aren't we?
Oh, what are those cameras you get on your computer?
Webcam.
Webcam.
Yeah, webcam. Yeah, I've only ever had one webcam. It doesn't work anymore because I've kept it because Beth bought it for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when we first started dating, she wanted to. Yeah, so I've still got that, and it's no good. Yeah.
Of course you would. Yeah.
It was at the time. It was good. Yeah, but not anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna want to keep that, aren't you? Yeah.
So that's a different kind of sentimental, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Because somebody else bought you it. Yeah.
It's not for the technology itself. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you mentioned PDAs because that was first on my list and I didn't have to bring it up. PDAs was one of those breakthrough technologies that at the time was revolutionary, but now seems so old hat. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your input there. Well, I look forward to hearing anybody else's comments on that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Devon's segment. Subject.
So for my segment, I'm sorry, we're going to have to go a little bit deeper.
Oh. As usual.
As usual. It's always nice to have at least one segment every episode, where we just talk about something maybe a little bit more meaningful or a little bit less fun.
Wow.
You're trying to lower the tone, yeah.
Exactly. I think that's important.
Okay.
No, this is something I've been thinking about quite a lot. My title of today's segment is As Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What does that make you think of?
I'm intrigued. Yeah, I've been wondering what it might be meaning.
Yeah. I'm thinking it means whatever you're doing, don't do it like someone else would do it the way you'd do it.
Be genuine to yourself is what I was going to say. Yeah.
It's along those lines, yeah.
Be real.
That's good guesses, for sure.
But no.
It's to go off of the verse, Mark 12:31.
Okay.
No. He got biblical. Yeah. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Which is
Glad he did.
Where love your neighbour as yourself.
Ah. Okay.
Obviously, it comes into a different part as well because that's the commandment. But so we always focus on the love your neighbour or love your enemy.
Yeah.
But we never really focus on the as yourself. I was talking to my wife the other day about it because I've heard this other theory before that every man or woman loves themselves to some point because they still care for themselves. So they feed themselves, they water themselves, they get sleep. Mm-hmm. They still look after themselves even if they might hate themselves. But then if you would hate your enemy, would you feed them? Or would you clothe them or shower or anything like that? So people obviously say, I have no love for myself, or I really hate myself, but then they still would care for their own bodies. Do you think that means that they love themselves, or do you think that's just something else?
You have gone deep, yeah. Thank you. Giving yourself worth, really, isn't it? Is that similar to what you're saying?
Yeah.
Finding worth in yourself.
Yeah.
As well as others. We talk about a lot in Christian circles about putting others before yourself, But what about you? Is that where you're going with that, or what you're thinking?
Because you have to determine if you love yourself, to determine if you can actually love your neighbour, as the verse says, love your neighbour as yourself.
As yourself, yeah.
So if you do not love yourself, then you cannot love your neighbour. But obviously, a lot of people are very, very selfless and care little for oneself. Like, so the quote goes, being humble isn't about thinking less of yourself, it's thinking about yourself less.
Yeah, there's definitely another part where we can be falsely humble, can't we? We bring false humility. In effect, if you put yourself down to such a level where you regard yourself as worth less, then you're not honouring God in that, definitely. Because for the reasons you've just described. Yeah.
Something my wife says quite a lot. Sorry to keep butting in with different quotes and stuff. Something my wife says quite a lot is that it's that you shouldn't insult yourself because God has made you, and you're insulting God's creation.
Yeah. I often drop something because I'm getting old. You see, you do that when you get old, or you bump into things and things like that. And I call myself an idiot, just under my breath to myself. And then I have to correct myself for insulting myself, can't we? Because those words
it's somewhat seen as okay because it's yourself.
Yeah. But as I said many moons ago in a previous episode, our words matter, and what we speak to ourselves can also have an impact on us.
I mean, there's a lot of spiritual connotations behind what you're saying, but also in terms of psychological, isn't there?
Absolutely.
You treat yourself like in those minor ways where you just call yourself an idiot or whatever, and you don't think too much of it, but in reality, it does have big side effects. What it can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing value in yourself is important. God sees value in you. And if we don't see value in ourselves, we've all got something of value, haven't we? And
so my question is, do you think that everyone, to some extent, does see value in themselves and loves themselves?
Does or doesn't? Does. Okay.
Yeah, or would, as I say, because they would feed themselves, or obviously not everyone feeds themselves very well, but they do try to some extent to keep themselves alive. Like if they've got a room and a bed, they would sleep in that rather than going outside and sleep on the floor.
I think there are always cases where people don't do that.
Yeah,
there will always be cases of self-abuse, not looking after people, not looking after themselves. Like you said, by eating food that's harmful to themselves. They're not doing that or not eating at all. There'll be people with psychological who need help. That will be guilty of. Don't like using that word, but they hate themselves to such a degree they just want to die. Those people, obviously, you would say, might fit the bill of what you're asking. But I think most people, like you say, even though they belittle themselves, I think there's a much greater category of a number of people who fit the category of will belittle themselves and see themselves of little worth, but still, like you say, do the other things that preserve their own life, and keep themselves. And I think that's
or just gives themselves comfort.
You have to assume then it's some kind of subconscious effort, I guess, that they do know that if they look after themselves, it is for their own good, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a scenario, somebody who says, no, I could never do that, I'm not good enough, I'm rubbish, but they'd turn the heating up when it gets cold, So they're not to the level where they don't care anymore, but they just don't see themselves as being any value. Yeah.
My question then becomes: would you then consider self-denial in terms of like a monk would see it? Like, I try to eat as little as humanly possible and whatever. Would you consider that a bad thing?
If it's unhealthy, I think so. I don't see why it's a good thing. Obviously, we in the Christian faith and a lot of different other faiths as well, we have fasting. But obviously that's always for a specific reason spiritually of why you're fasting. So obviously in the Bible they fasted for, say they wanted to win a battle or something like that. They would fast because they've got a reason, something that they want to achieve. But I don't really know if monks have like a specific thing other than just getting closer to God.
Self-denial is a good thing as a spiritual discipline, I think. Yeah.
But you wouldn't say it was a lifestyle choice that you should stick to wholeheartedly?
I don't think there's any necessarily importance to having to live a life of continual self-denial. Yeah. God wants to bless you as well. You don't have to. That's again, about you belittling your own self because you're saying, "Oh, I've got to deny myself everything."
Yeah, but it is true that obviously we should become less so that He should become more.
He can become more. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, it's important that it's not the other way around, like waiting for God to do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to find. Okay, am I treating myself with the respect that a creation of God should have, or am I trying to, rightly so, decrease myself so that God can become more in myself?
As with all things, it's a matter of balance.
Yes.
You asked for deep, didn't you?
There's a lovely little thing, and many listeners will probably know it and remember it, hear it before. The word joy, yeah, Joy, and to remember those words: Jesus first, yourself last, the Y, and others in between.
Ooh.
And I think that's a great balance: Jesus first, yourself last, others in between, and that's a wonderful way to live our lives without self-deprecation to the point where you feel of no value. But our value can be in putting others first, can't it?
Yeah. And obviously that then gives you the joy. So it is looking after yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Well. Yeah,
because
exactly.
Obviously we have more needs than just the carnal desires, or I'm hungry for, I crave this. So if I get this, then I'll be happy. Whereas, like, actual satisfaction would be other things. Yeah.
We've covered this a lot in other previous segment discussions, I think, but it's worth reminding ourselves. There's nothing wrong with wanting to self-improve, do well in life, so that you can be a blessing to other people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the things I'd like to achieve with the rest of my life aren't for myself necessarily, though I would enjoy them and be glad of them, but it would be also enable me to be a blessing to people.
Yeah.
And I think that's your motives are very important, aren't they? What motivates you? What drives you to succeed? If it's all about self, then that's a unhealthy way to live spiritually, I think. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if that's the way your discussion wanted to take us, but
I mean, yeah, it's good.
As yourself, I like that.
We always focus on the love your neighbour, but we don't focus so much on the as yourself. But obviously, you can only love your neighbour if you love yourself.
Yeah, got to learn to love ourselves.
Yeah,
enough to be able to bless others. Yeah.
Because if you fulfill that commandment, the greatest commandment, love your neighbour as yourself, but you hate yourself.
Yeah.
Then obviously that means you hold the same disdain towards your neighbour as well.
Wow, stretched us again, Devon.
Thanks for chatting. It's just been on my mind quite a lot recently. There's different things pop up. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I think that's because I was watching Vikings, and there's this character who is very troubled, but he loves the main guy a lot, but he doesn't love himself.
Okay.
He doesn't think he's worth it.
Yeah. Cool. But I think that false humility is also a danger, when we lower ourselves falsely. Yeah. We're not honouring God by doing that, are we?
No. Exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think
Very
I'll
good.
go in that there then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now it's time for Random Chatting.
And next up, obviously, we're on to our random chat. It's the second instalment of the book Pilgrims Progress. Which episode did we do the first one on? 21? No.
Well, that's a while ago, wasn't it?
19, I think.
19.
Wow,
Yeah.
So we haven't come back to this for a while.
No.
Yeah, but it's up to the end of stage 2. That is this conversation. What do you guys think about it?
I get confused about this because, like I said in episode 19 when we discussed it before, I'm listening to the book, but the act of listening, I don't know if you find that with audiobooks, Ford, is you lose perspective of where you are in the overall story and how far through, and I can't tell where I'm up to. I'm struggling a bit with the Audible app that I downloaded it onto. About it doesn't relate to me what page number, if you like, and the chapter structure of this book is different to most, isn't it?
So in this stage of the story, our main character Christian has gotten to the gate he's been heading toward for all this time, and there's this what do they call him? Goodwill.
Yeah.
Is the character who pulls him through the gate and tells him to go on to this house. Then we go to this house, and it's quite an odd scenario inside this house, and that's basically when he leaves that house. It's the end of this particular stage. Yeah.
Ah, right. Is that where we're up to? Goodwill. Okay. Really?
Yep.
It's the interpreter.
I'm far further on
I
than
thought
that.
you would be. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm 2 hours in on the audio podcast,
Okay, yeah.
on the Audible. Yeah.
You're right.
So I'm well past that. I need to go back.
Wowza.
I'm at the point, I think, without any spoilers, where we got to the Valley of the Shadow of Death.
Oh, that's to come for sure. I don't know that.
It is, yeah.
I've not been there yet.
Okay. Well, I might have something more to say than I thought. Go on, carry on.
Right. So,
Goodwill.
Goodwill at the gate. Yeah. Did you think he was supposed to be like a picture of Jesus, the way he sort of pulls him in, and it's like dragging you into salvation or something like that?
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
It said something.
I know something. Looking at it on Wikipedia that I won't say. But you're on the right tracks. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the wicket gate, the keeper of the wicket gate, through which one enters the straight and narrow way. Yeah.
Right, which is Jesus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I want to say something, but I'm not going to because we haven't got there yet. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Goodwill.
Bit of a tease
Remember
for
that.
later.
Yeah, but well spotted.
Okay.
I think Goodwill. That's not the straight and narrow way yet, because he points to the narrow way and said you must go that way. So like, there's more narrow way that he has to go to. That Goodwill's talking to him about.
Right. Yeah, because when he pulls him through, it's very passionate and personal. I thought it was like, wow, that's some sort of a Jesus picture anyway. If not like actual Jesus, you know. I don't know. Clearly not.
Yeah.
Paps knows. He's not going to tell us apparently.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
I thought it was interesting when this Goodwill guy asks who are you to Christian. He says, I'm just a poor burdened sinner or whatever. And it's like, would you say that's an attitude of heart that you're supposed to emulate? I don't know.
I mean, that's shown in the Bible quite a lot, especially in like the different letters, saying that I'm nothing but like a worm, or I'm just a slave of Christ.
Kind of lends itself to the last section we just did.
It does a bit, yeah. It does a bit. I was just thinking that, yeah.
So it's hard to know the attitude behind it. Again, whether it's out of hate for yourself or out of just trying to
self-deprecation.
Yeah, self-deprecation, or actually realizing that without God, you're nothing.
Yeah, you're right. Attitude is very important. Yeah. So then we go all the way to the interpreter's house, don't we? And it's some kind of weird house, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like he's got some sort of actors hired, maybe, to just wait for someone to walk in.
Yeah.
and they start playing out an act. It's quite interesting because he goes from one house to another, and he's trying to show off these, I guess, skits. I don't know. He's trying to make some points, isn't he? This interpreter guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He must not get many visitors either, because Christian's constantly trying to get away or something. He's like, I want to leave, but he's not letting him. It's very weird. What do you think to that?
It is strange, but obviously he's using a lot of parable, well, not really parables, metaphors.
Yeah, metaphors.
Like with a dusty room and all that kind of thing. I think he conveys his message quite well, and it seems like the Christian is kind of lapping it up.
Yeah.
From what I could take away from it.
He's got a castle in one of those rooms. It's like, what on earth?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
We perceive the interpreter as a good character, don't we?
Yeah.
There is something about that character that's quite important later on. Yeah.
I only joked about him trying to get away because he's constantly saying, "Great, can I go now?" And he's like, "One more, come on."
Yeah.
That happens several times. It's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what's his name? Who does this?
John Bunyan.
Bunyan.
John Bunyan, yeah.
I think this is him trying to maybe cement his foundational doctrines, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Because these metaphors, they're very basic Christian theology.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's very intentional or not, but
I'm sure it was. Like we said in the last episode, I listened back to what we were talking about in our previous conversation about this, and we said that obviously in the 1700s when this was written, 1778 was it, something like that?
It's a couple of years ago, yeah.
I've forgotten now the year, but anyway, it was a long time ago. It was written to an audience that probably may not have even been many people who would read, and certainly wouldn't have necessarily have a Bible to read for themselves. So it was like parables, wasn't it? And interpretations,
Stories, we
use another words. I've forgotten them now, but yeah, stories that convey the Christian message.
And it was very popular, so a lot of people did get it.
Yeah. I really like the story of Passion and Patience. I don't know if you remember. There's two kids. It's basically the prodigal son, but without the redemption.
Right.
Passion wants his inheritance now, and he gets it, and he spends it all, but then has nothing. But then Patience waits, and then he gets his inheritance, but he also gets, I think, other things as well, because he gets inheritance in heaven, and his brother Passion no longer has anything, so he's happy. But it's like in today's world we do celebrate passion quite a lot, but in this book it's like a negative thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you don't need like excess of passion if you can just be patient, rather than just going, oh, I want it, let's go.
It's excess, isn't it? I mean, you don't want to be passionless, do you?
No.
In life, but it's when you give over everything you have to whatever passion it is. It's no good.
Misplaced, perhaps. I don't know. Yeah. Well, be careful where we place our passions. Yeah.
Some of them were some hard truths, though, weren't there? Like there was one of the guys in one of these rooms where he's just sobbing his heart out or whatever, and he said, "There's no hope for me" or whatever, and he goes over and says, "Can't you just repent, come back to Jesus?" And he quotes like Hebrews 6 something, and it's like, no, it's no can do sort of thing. Bit of a kicker.
Yeah. Are you still enjoying it then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very good.
Good. In our last conversation, Ford, you were struggling a little bit with it in terms of your head around it. Or
it can be as deep as you want it to be, and I've since found out that the guy who wrote this is a Calvinist. I don't know if that's problematic or not when it comes to salvation and whatnot. I don't know. Yeah, Calvinism's complicated. I think you have to be like 500 IQ to be.
Can
Calvinist.
You briefly explain to us all? I think I know what.
Briefly explain. It's essentially they disagree in how salvation works slightly, and that the repercussions of that hits lots of different theologies and stuff. So it's complicated. But anyway, so maybe my theology isn't supposed to line up with a lot. Well, not a lot. Some of the things that he says in this book, I don't know. It's interesting. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why I went into this. We're not talking about Calvinism.
Yeah. If anybody wants to find out more about that, you can always Google it.
Yeah. Don't come to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
About predestination, isn't it?
Yes, there's been essentially, does everyone have the ability to be saved or not?
Free will. And
anyway,
also, isn't it reflected in the phrase "once saved, always saved" as well?
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what we're talking about. This guy, he had Christ and he gave it up for the world in this story. So in this room, So because he's Calvinist, he'd say no. There's no coming back for him.
Yeah.
Whereas a sensible Christian would say no.
Yeah. Sensible Christian.
We don't have any Calvinist listeners, do we?
I don't know, we may.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway,
but we won't hold that against John Bunyan because the message of this book is a positive one and it is a worthwhile.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's very minor disagreement, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Thank you.
Excellent.
Wow.
Anything else to add? I think I'm sure we haven't anywhere near finished this story yet, and we'll have to come back again to part 3. But there may be bits like you have done today that we can add, but the general conversation might be covering similar ground each time. But yeah, hopefully people are getting something from it.
It's deep.
Very good. Deep. Yeah.
Cool.
Very good. Thank you very much.
It's homework time and goodbye.
Excellent. So that brings us on to the situation of homework for next time. We will say that because it is a 5th episode, or 25th episode, we will not have
our fifth.
Our fifth. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
We will not have. We will not actually be doing the homework because we've got a special guest. If you remember, obviously
every 5 episodes we have a visitor. Yeah.
Yes. So we're not doing homework that episode, but the episode after that we will be doing this piece of homework.
There'll be a film next, won't it?
Yes. I think this was suggested by Dad, but I've seen it before and I really liked it.
But that's another story.
Oh, well, yeah.
For next, I shouldn't say I really liked it. That's what
why can't we say what it is now?
Oh, we can say what it is, but
that gives other people 2 weeks to listen to it. 2 episodes.
We can say what it is. I was about to say what it is, but we can't give a review of it because obviously that's
yeah. Even though you already have.
Yeah.
Your 1 word or 3 word review.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked it.
Yeah. Okay, this film is the film Contact.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh,
thank you.
Maybe I've just responded by
I
think about it.
Giving all away.
I'm excited to hear everybody else's thoughts. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very interesting film.
It is.
So it'd be good to review.
Wouldn't it be nice if the viewer would like to watch it and message maybe on this and tell us what they think, and we can talk about it with our viewers.
It'd be great anyway to have some input that we can include in the podcast. What other people think about the film Contact.
Yeah, and then we can all complain about it together. It'd be great.
Yes. Where's it available? Is it on Prime?
Yeah. Yes.
It is.
Excellent. So that leaves us with nothing else to do, but
let's love this thing and go home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As you always say, you can find us on most major podcasting platforms, and obviously on YouTube, which is probably the most popular one. I like YouTube because obviously you can comment and you can get notifications for when things come up. But obviously we're also on Facebook now, so go like the page on Facebook, get some news on there, and obviously on our Twitter, which is @theoryofanything, TING at the end. And if you want to send us a home private rather than commenting or tweeting us, you can email theoryofanything@hotmail.com.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's tremendous. You did it like a pro. Yeah, very good.
But if it is private, say this is private, so we don't actually include it in the podcast.
Yes.
Don't want us to read it out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, leave a like, because you're not going to stop us. We're not going to stop making these, so you might as well get on board.
No matter how many dislikes we get.
Yeah, exactly. So you might as well, if you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly.
Give us a like.
Well, people, they do say, why you keep liking things, they'll keep doing it. What if people don't like it?
Well, we'll keep doing it.
Keep doing it
They
anyway.
can't.
But we're not doing it for popularity or for financial gain, are we? So
Definitely
yeah. We do it because we enjoy it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Well done.
On that lovely note.
Okay. So, do you want me to say it?
Yeah, I want you to say it.
All right then. So, folks, thank you very much, Devon, for hosting the episode. And until we meet again around the microphone next time.
Bye.
Bye.